best parts of hanging out with these guys without the hangover.
Well, welcome back, everybody.
Hey, you sweet-titted bastard.
Oh, look at him. It's Zig and Larry Ignore a Topic, the only show where you have to get permission from your spouse to listen to it.
And when she says no, you have to go to the shed.
Yeah.
Go to the shed with real good headphones.
Yep.
And come up with a good excuse. No, honey, I was just masturbating.
Don't worry, it's just gay sex.
That's it.
Hi.
Hi.
It's been a couple of weeks since we've talked, but
it has, bud. It has. I don't have a whole lot to announce. I'm going out into the world a little bit more now that I can actually drive myself. Which is good.
You went to the froyo of bars.
Oh yeah. So for somebody who made their living on booze for over 20 years, drinking professionally, I had never been to a place that had a beer wall. I didn't even know. I roughly knew that they existed, but my beautiful wife, who she drinks, but she's not us by any means.
Right.
She could actually go a couple of weeks and be like, oh yeah, maybe a glass of wine. You're not shaken at all? Nothing? Good for you. Wow. I didn't know human beings were wired that way.
That doesn't make any sense because I had to start day drinking today to get the DTs to go away because your old pal Crunk Kringle, little baby meat pie, aka the washed hobo, got back from
the mildly scrubbed hobo.
Mildly scrubbed hobo. Had a show last night and got home about 1:30 in the morning and decided, because that my wife had taken a nap.
1:30 in the morning is not a nap. That's going to bed.
She was in the chair. She had napped. So when I got home, she was wide awake and was let's have a drink. And I was like, great. And then next thing we knew, it was 4 a.m.
Good for you.
And we had just been drinking shots of for about 30 minutes, shots of vodka with squeezins of orange in it to
because that's really what you need to feel good about yourself.
Right.
I don't know, a touch of vitamin C, it's fine. And then you do things like, well, if you buy Tropicana, that's been sitting in a vat. This is actually really good for you. Yeah, you're just sucking down Absolute at this point. I know, but I'm justifying it well.
I'm not going to get rickets or scurvy, so
not on this day, scurvy.
not today. Maybe one day, but today is not that day.
Did you know that's why British guys are called limey? Because of scurvy?
Yeah.
I didn't know that because that was the easiest way to preserve citrus juice was to put a whole bunch of booze in it, and then they could still get it worked-ish, but not that great. But if you were an officer, you got the fancy gin. If you were a deckhand, you got rum. Rum watered down with lime squeezins, and they called it sure. But yeah, that's
one of my favorite drinks is rum with some lime leavings.
Well, I mean, now it's like a derogatory thing, but at the time, it's like, call a guy a lime. He's like, yeah, I'd rather be called a lime than my teeth fucking fall out and become shoulders. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, great.
All the whizzle tits. I don't
give a fuck. I get to chew meat.
Yeah, I'm no longer terrified of salt pork and the sea. We're fine.
I'm too drunk to care about the monsters what live on the bottom of it.
Oh, I want to do this easy on you. Hey, Larry.
Yeah, buddy.
Can we cut to a commercial from our sponsor?
We certainly can. And now, word from our sponsor.
I just threw that at you because I forgot to give you a warning. Sorry.
Hey, Smith, let's talk about Split Society, huh?
I've heard of them.
They offer unmatched quality with these 100% natural leaf spliffs.
What's that mean?
Well, they're hand-picked, they're hand-rolled, they're by professional artisans. All of their spliffs are toasted to provide...
What's an artisan?
It's like somebody who builds something, but they're very good at it, and they are on TikTok.
So there is the exact opposite of what we do with this podcast.
Yeah, it's like I'm an artist, but I make a little bit of money at it, and I'm also a hipster, and I need the validation.
Oh, so almost like what we do with this podcast.
Pretty close. Yeah, their splits are toasted to provide a harmonic balance. That is a bullshit word, by the way, and I love these guys. That's a very bullshit word. Low smoke. Yeah. Hmm?
I've had a harmonic. I've had harmonic experiences. Mostly
when it comes to smoking something.
We should probably move on. I don't want to be implicated in a crime.
And relaxed flavor, so they won't interfere with the taste of your favorite herb. They're 100% organic, all-natural spliffs, and no filter, no glue, no wax, no chemicals. This is all true. And no, you know the word.
Bullshit.
Mm-hmm. The spliffs are velvet to the touch. From any orifice, they are.
Yeah,
they burn
which
slowly.
I've tried all of the orifices.
I really wish you would stop, because the pictures from the burning.
Yeah.
Why do you keep sending me the pictures?
Well, because I feel close to you, and I feel like this just draws us in and makes the podcast stronger.
Butthole to butthole.
Just smashing buttholes.
Well, which makes the next phrase, with an even smooth pull, even more reticent.
Which is so appreciated when you're going butthole to butthole.
They fit the bill. Best on the planet. So stop wasting your time and money.
The bill. I had an Uncle Bill.
You fit your Uncle Bill?
We should probably talk about splitsociety.org, though.
Did you fit your Uncle Bill, or your Uncle Bill had a fit? Stop wasting your time and money spitting or splitting and licking those tired old rolls ever again. Their spliffs allow for a clean and quick pack every time.
Just like
they're made to smoke.
Master.
I was about to make a joke, but now I'm just reminding myself of my old Scoutmaster. And I say,
Yeah. Old Spice and cherry tobacco.
So pack it to share and enjoy.
And remember to use promo code Zig and Larry at checkout.
Did not go well.
That was perfect.
Really?
Yes.
No.
This is also part of the ad. No, I even wrote down the timestamp.
You write down the timestamps all the time, and it gets in there sometimes.
It's a 50-50. It's a 50-50.
So, Split Society boys, we may or may not have just given you a plug from reading the actual copy when we were both too drunk to actually read copy. I haven't even heard those plugs, so they might be okay. I don't know. I'm
gonna put some music in the background of them.
I feel like they would get you past a DUI stop in Chicago, but not LA.
Yeah. In Chicago, they're just like, did he go through a playground? No. Good enough.
You know, I got my DUI in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
In my defense, I was very drunk, and it was the sheriff. It wasn't the CPD. I imagine the CPD would let me go.
Yeah, the CPD would have been like, just don't hit anybody else.
No, I skidded during a snowstorm and tapped a car in front of me. It would have happened when I was sober. The problem is I couldn't explain myself when the cops showed up. You're a sheriff, huh? Oh, those are nice handcuffs.
They're so shiny. Yep, make them tight. Oh, thank you, Daddy.
I'm going to need you to blow into this. You might as well just put me in the back of the car, friend, because I see no reason to waste either of our times. It's cold.
Because that little device is not going to register all the numbers that it's going to need to.
Oh, I've never slept it off on a concrete slab before. Let's give that a shot.
Plenty of bathroom floors, never a concrete slab. Let's. So anyway, you were telling me you and Ange were.
Oh yeah, so it was a weird day. So well, first I would like to tell you about the actual weird day, because that happened last week. And you haven't heard this story yet. Yesterday was actually just, I finally can hobble around enough on two crutches. So like we went to this really rad festival in St. Petersburg called Localtopia. So it's like 300 like artists and artisans and food trucks. And, it's one of those like 3 different stages. It's like really big in St. Pete.
Mm-hmm.
So we just walked around there and had a great time. And made some friends, pet some dogs, and then we ended up at a bar that just had one of those beer walls where they just take your credit card.
I love that everyone can just hear us both rotting from the inside during this story.
Not great. It's not great at all.
No.
Feel free to hit the pause button, whatever you need. But they had you a bracelet, so it's like a cruise ship where money no longer has meaning, and you go up to a wall that is just like, and they had 30 some odd beers going from like heavy nitro stouts all the way to ciders, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like a big, there's just basically an iPad in front of a tapper, and you wave it like a magical wizard, and booze appears. And they actually have a per ounce. This is it's like 0.5038 per ounce. So it's only 50 cents an ounce. Well, they hand you a fucking pint glass, and it's one of the biggins. And you're like, how many ounces are one of these glasses? Those are actually 16. That's not a pint. Oh, good. So the porter that my wife just got was $18. Good, very good,
Excellent, fantastic.
And then you just get out. We were sitting at the bar, and we had dinner reservations later, so we literally were just like getting boozed up before we go and sitting down. And then you still tip because you're sitting at the bar because you got to, because you're a good person. You're taking up their spot. But we just got up and got our own beer and came back and just tipped for a spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're paying rent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which you should. Word to the wise: if you're ever at a busy bar and you're just sitting there with a friend, and you and your friend split a salad and have one glass of wine each, and you're there for 4 hours, you tip way more than 15%.
Yeah, you sure fucking do.
You sure do. You're welcome to sit there as long as you want, but you're also, these people spend that money on stupid shit like rent and diabetes medication.
Yeah,
so
yeah. We've got a beer wall here in Springfield.
Do you really?
Yeah.
It was dangerous, but cool.
Yeah. So my buddy Tim, Big Tim, the power lifter, the strongman competitor, and also the whatever is he, 4th level Cicerone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So craft beer rep. This guy knows his shit. He and I have gone, and that when we walk in, they just go, fuck. All right. It's like if he and I walk into a buffet, they're just like, well,
just give them a bucket, make sure the card goes good, and just let it go.
It just we're losing money tonight. And there was one night Tim and I were there long enough, we blew 3 of their kegs. Like,
hold on. Just let me have that visual. Okay, so you and Tim sucked off a couple of kegs.
Yeah. Went way down. Got it down the back of the throat. But yeah, blew 3K. We'd do it and be like, well, sorry. Like the third one, we're just like, do you even want to replace it? Because we're just gonna drink more. Do you want to wait and replace them all at once? and you would just look at the poor guy like that, because there's no bar there. There's a counter. They give you your first glass, and they have glasses underneath the beer wall, so you can get your clean one. But he gives you your glass and your card. So there's booths and such, and you can just see this guy every time Tim and I would get up. He would just be like, "Oh God." And then you'd hear the of the keg blowing, and you just turn around with that sheepish "sorry," and he's like, "God damn it! All right, yep. Are you guys gonna be here longer? I don't know. What time do you close? We don't you
15 minutes after the cops show up for your 2 idiots."
Yeah, I love a beer wall.
I learned a nice trick from a lovely drunk who was real good in beer drunk. We got out of there pretty scot-free because the beer wall was 25% off during happy hour. And happy hour is like a 4-hour thing in certain places in Florida. But the guy's like, watch for this. And he was right. I was able to do it once. If a keg pops on somebody, like, because you're paid by the ounce, he's like, wait 10 minutes. The thing goes black, it goes white again, but then you put everything, like wave your little wristband on, it turns on, you get yourself about a quarter of a beer before it pops again, but it doesn't register anybody. He's like, if you're not picky, good for you.
My God, thank you, Willy Wonka of booze. This is fantastic.
How are you not kicked out of here more? Good for you.
They used to have my Polaroid up on the wall, and then they got pulled down, so now I'm back. Anyway, if you'd like to know how to also steal food from vending machines, I can give you tips on that.
He was also the wizard who gave me the tip. A lot of people break their glasses because they're drunk, so watch your feet with them flip-flops right up on the beer wall. Like, also a good point. Thank you.
Good thinking. Pro tip. That's the kind of guy. That's the kind of hobo wizard you want following you around in Florida. Just pro tip. Don't smoke a quarter pound of weed before you come here.
Thank you, hobo wizard.
Thank you.
Yeah. That gap over there, he's holding. So the most Florida thing happened to be the last week, like the most Florida day happened to be last weekend. It was just like you can't take something very simple like, we're going to go and make a donation at the Salvation Army, and then we're going to go have brunch. And it seems like a lovely thing to do. Like, I used to be so anti-brunch when I worked nights, because like I'm not waking up at 9 to go have fucking eggs. But now I'm like, well, I'm up at 9 anyway, and it's socially acceptable for me to booze, so I'm fine with it. Plus, there's a bunch of restaurants that I can sit outside in February and look at the water. I love this. So we went down to the Salvation Army, and there's a big sign that says, donations in the back.
Actually,
it was like
staring and drinking and staring at the water. I did that in Wisconsin. The problem was it didn't move. It was just
a toilet.
It was all fucking frozen.
You were just staring into the flush box while slowly eating a hot dog from a 7-Eleven. This is brunch on the water.
Nope, false alarm. All right.
We're all close to death. Good. Status quo achieved. So we go down to the Salvation Army, and the one that's around here, it's a really big one. It's like a big, it's a family store / donation center, and around the back, and we didn't realize what this meant, was like you drive around and there was a line, and there was like a truck that was unloading what seemed to be an entire TJ Maxx's worth of shit. The truck was so big it had a hydraulic lift up and down.
Oh,
like rack upon rack. 2 cars behind them. And we get there, and all of a sudden now there's 2 cars behind us. So we're like, and we have our donation, by the way, is 1 box of kitchen stuff that we no longer need that is still perfectly fine. It's 1 box. Like,
yeah.
But we have no place to be, so we're fine. And I'm thinking, like, how do we get out of here? Well, we're blocked in. And as I'm trying to figure this out, right next to us, there's like big plastic bins, like big, like dumpster size. And some of them are like chock full of loosely organized, like you can see like housewares in one. You can see like, random like stuffed animals coming out of another one. So people are like donating just in these bins, I guess. It was very weird. I wasn't 100% sure, but the little thing was lined with it. And as we're sitting there, behind us is a Ford F-250 4-door, which, by the way, big shit kicker trucks are real popular down here for no reason.
Yeah, you don't need them.
That's your day-to-day commuter is a F-250 4-door club cab.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing with the urban assault vehicle? Stop it.
Yeah,
you don't require that.
Get yourself a nice convertible, a scooter even. You don't need an F-250 down there.
No, a scooter
unless you're pulling a boat. You know what? Maybe they're boat people.
Entirely possible. But the amount of boats that I see versus the amount of shit kicker trucks that I see, no. It's not. Some people require a big truck. Some people want a big truck.
Yeah.
The people who just want one, no. I just lost a neighbor who really wanted one. He was adorable. But anyway, I'll get to that in a second if I have. But we're sitting there, we're waiting, and so these 2 older ladies in a big shit kicker truck get out, and they just have like garbage bags full of, I'm guessing, clothes. I don't know. And she's like, look at which bins, and she just throws, and I'm guessing she's going to turn around like, oh, that's my donation. Then she gets in. Another lady from the same truck gets out and starts picking through the donations, and then is now taking things that she finds interesting and throwing it in the back of the truck. Her friend is dropping stuff off. This woman is taking stuff out. We are behind the truck that is like taking everybody's attention. There's 2 more SUVs in front of my car, and these ladies are cherry picking all the fucking nonsense.
Oh my God.
They're stealing donations.
Well, it's not a 1 in, 1 out policy, for fuck's sake.
And I was just having just a very Florida moral debacle for me because I'm like, one man's trash, another man's treasures, certainly. However, this is not a dumpster. Because I not often, but I have found things in the trash that like people have left that I've usurped. $300 worth of drum kit once. That was fun. And I just sold it immediately. A couple of pieces of furniture that I ended up sanding down and repainting did very well. But these ones are stealing things intended for the Salvation Army and kept going back for more. Like they just like grabbed
like it was a buffet.
Yeah, like grabbed one thing and just like, well, nobody seems to be yelling at the elderly in the assault vehicle, so let's get some more shit. And they just like start piling up more garbage.
I found one shoe. We got to keep digging until we find a match, or at least the opposite, so I don't walk in circles.
It was a lot of wall art, and I think my wife was right. She's like, I bet you anything they're stealing those for the fucking frames. Like, you could very easily be right, but they're still stealing donations.
Or they work at the local Motel 6, and they're just trying to get new paintings for the walls.
Also possible. All things down here are possible with Bryce. So it took us a while to get through that line, which we did. And then we ended up at a little restaurant called Bowie's down right on the water. We're just sitting there and having a lovely lunch. And I was so excited because we were still talking about these women stealing from donations. Like, is that wrong? Like, yeah, ish. I don't know. Maybe.
Ish. Yeah, I think ish is the right term. I mean,
enough that we're still talking about it. Once it hits the donation, I don't know. But then a boat comes down, just like a random boat, like a decent sized fishing boat. And you see this a lot. People are honking because like we're all just sitting right on the water and they're waving. You know what I mean? Like, and you just see two guys roughly who could have been us. they obviously have like big gulps full of booze in their hands.
Yeah.
And they're waving and honking. So I'm like, woohoo. And I give them like a big salute, you know. And then I notice they're towing this huge ass fucking flag that just says DeSantis 2024.
Oh no.
And even in Florida, you got to be real special to think that cat's doing a good job.
Right.
So, and I just go, oh, fuck. I just really thought that I was waving at drunk boaters. God damn it. I look at my wife. She goes, I thought so too, but you feel dirty? I do.
Yeah.
I feel really bad.
Yeah, I feel wrong. I feel like I have to pay a penance now.
I just encourage these two lunatics.
Yeah.
So that was my very Florida day of, hey, let's just go drop off this one box of a donation and go get lunch.
and we watched two women in an assault vehicle steal donations, and then I encourage some assholes.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. So it's, what did this woman just do? And I remember looking at my wife going, larceny? Question mark.
Not grand, but mediocre. Is that it?
Well,
can you charge someone for that?
The two guys who realize that this is the first day they've ever had a line because of this truck that's just unloading stuff. I'm sure he looked at what I don't care today. Because I don't care.
Yeah.
None of this matters to me.
This doesn't take away from my salary.
No, the bitch of it was the car directly in front of us had also one box, and she just threw a bunch of it into a bin to the left. And there was this actually really cool bamboo wicker looking like just decorative box. And like, well, these bitches get to steal stuff. I want to steal
that. I want a bamboo box.
I didn't do it, but I thought it looked cool.
We've got the Goodwill near us, and so we have made a lot of donations to there. And sometimes it's like a trunk full, and sometimes it's just like one box in a bag.
Yeah.
And we've had the people in front of us, they're just like, we're unloading our entire household, and we're taking nothing with us because you have to pack light when you're in witness protection. And and so I've literally just been like, pop the fucking trunk, and got out and just sat the shit down. Then dude looks at me, he's like, you want a tax form? I'm like, it doesn't matter anymore. Nothing matters. All right, have a good one. There's decent shit in there. I don't even know anymore. We've sat here long enough that I forget what we brought.
That's exactly where it was like mismatched like housewares, but it was all like perfectly good stuff. It's like, you want a thing for the taxes? Let's just get the fuck out of here. Weird stuff in front of us, weird stuff behind us, weird stuff in the future we don't even know about currently.
Man, I mentioned
that was also the same day that we found one of our dog's teeth in his bed.
Did you leave a quarter?
I think you have to.
Yeah, you do.
We just 3 weeks prior paid for his teeth to be cleaned and had 2 yanked. I think that the cleaning possibly just rattled one out.
It probably did.
He's so old that he came to us with shitty teeth. We do our best, but you know what?
Hey, poor guy. He's gonna stop believing in the tooth fairy. You gotta do something for him.
I still give him pizzle sticks soaked in water. He's fine with it.
Rehydrated cow dick is what you're giving him. Yeah.
Yeah. Dick skin. Yeah.
Yeah. Rehydrated cow dick was a working title for a porn that I was writing, and did not get off the ground.
The dick?
That was part of the problem. Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah. When you're our age, you can only drink so much and expect things to work.
I just had one of those moments after drinking a little bit more going, is any of this usable? I have those moments a lot.
Is any of this usable? A biography by my penis.
Professionally, in the bedroom, in the kitchen. Is any of this usable?
Is any of this usable?
Scrape it up, see what it looks like tomorrow. Let's see if it's usable. I don't know.
So I wanted to tell you about my Wisconsin adventures.
Oh, where your dick fell off because it was so cold?
Just about, yeah. Fuck, it was cold. Like it was this. So Illinois got hit with that huge snowstorm.
And that's when you were there. Like, so that's.
Well, no, Wisconsin was fine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So everything north of.
I thought it peppered Milwaukee too, but am I wrong?
Oh, it did.
Oh, okay.
It did, but it was going at like an angle, this snowstorm. So, but as soon as I hit like just south of
at an angle, God's fury was cocked ace deuce.
It was just these people, the good folks of this part of Wisconsin. You know, the conservative part, you're fine.
Fuck the liberal queers, says God.
Yeah. Except for you, Madison. You're still right on. You're still right on. I know you lean left, but you're still good. You're still good with me.
Oh, God. And everyone's driving those big ass trucks for no reason.
Yeah, I took off on that Tuesday night to try to beat the storm. And I got caught in that snowstorm a little bit. Like maybe 20-25 minutes, and it was pretty bad. And then like you could literally see you know how when you like are driving through a rainstorm and then you can see where it stops?
Yeah, 100%.
That's you could see it on the interstate, and I was like, motherfuck, that's. And so I had to slow down about 50 to about 55. And then as soon as I could see that line, I was like, "Blue, eastbound and down, motherfuckers!" And so I get to Rockford. I thought about trying to get to Madison, but by the time I got to Rockford, it was like 11, and around 11 or so. I was so tired, and all I wanted was a drink. You know, I just.
Status quo achieved again.
Status quo, but after driving through that mess,
100%, yeah.
I was just like, I need a couple beers just to like bring myself down, and then I can go to bed and be ready for everything tomorrow. I'm not going to get crazy tonight. It's a Tuesday night. I have another however many 2 hours to drive tomorrow, and just don't get silly, don't get stupid. And so normally Hilton properties sell beer, and they'll have their coolers, and they'll have some beer.
Well, they just do like grab and go, right, for the room.
Yeah, just loose beers.
Yeah.
And I looked at the dude, and he's like, "Is there anything else?" And I kind of glanced in there. I was like, "You guys don't have beer, do you?" And he goes, "No, we're not allowed to sell it. There's something where in this county we can't sell at the hotel."
Oh.
I was like, I said, "I do not want to get back in the car." And he's like, "I don't blame you." He's like, "Oh, sorry." And I was like, "No problem." So I go upstairs, throw my bags in the room.
I can only imagine morally a guy you were in Rockford?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just morally, he's like, "I get you, man."
He was like, he's like, "Did you drive through that snowstorm at all?" I was like, yeah, about not much of it, but I still hit it, and I just need to. He was like, "Oh."
around the Quad Cities. He's just like he's watching somebody bleed out, and he has nothing to bandage the wound.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh God, this is gonna live with me forever.
I disappointed him so much. But so I stepped outside after throwing my bags in, and I wanted to move the car because when I got there, I just parked the car and then realized it was a little farther away than I wanted it to be.
There's no valet in a Hilton in fucking Rockford.
Yeah.
And they want me to move it away from the front door.
So, but yeah, I was like towards the end of the parking lot in the dark because I was like, first parking spot, fuck it, I want to get out of this car. And then I realized I was like, probably not the best place to park in Rockford at a hotel is in the dark by itself.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I moved, I found a spot right underneath, like was right up front. I could actually see it from the room, and I get out of the car and I'm just kind of like, I saw a casino. The casino's open. It's maybe a half mile.
I'm just having the same conversation in my own head with myself if I was in that situation, and I know who wins.
But I'm like, I know it's gonna have booze, but then I look, and like a beacon in the night, I see neon lights on
What's this? Oh, I know. Yeah, gotcha.
And I'm like, I was raised right. I'm a good hilljack, raised by good little hilljack folk. When you see neon that's still on at 11:30 at night, there's beer.
And what did that beacon say, Larry?
Well,
just say it. Okay. I'll put the cart before the hilljack.
Yeah. So and it's so close, and so I walk up and I glance up and I'm like, well, that's an interesting name for a bar. It was like the Tiger Tail Lounge. And I was like, well, whatever, let's go grab the tiger by the tail. As I walk towards the door, I notice a couple of the windows are not there so much as they were replaced by 3/4-inch plywood.
So it was hit by a hurricane in Rockford, Illinois.
Yeah. They were just preparing. And so I walk in and there's this music going, and I'm like, I am so out of it. I'm not paying attention. There's a door guy who's like, $5, buddy. And I was like, all right. And he goes, and I got to frisk you. And I was like, okay.
Oh God.
That's fine, man. Whatever you got to do. And I was like, I'm not going to lie. I got my keys over here, my car keys, but it's like, I got a little pocket knife. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a granddad. And he's like, keep it in your pocket. I don't care. I didn't hear anything. Right on, man. I said, all I want is a fucking beer. And I said, I want a beer.
Real quick, you're at this point so willing to get a beer that you have crossed the highway into a random place that has boarded up windows. You hear this horrible music. Mm-hmm. A man has asked you for $5 for the experience just to walk in the door. You say fine. He says, I'm going to rub you down. You say, okay. He finds a knife and he says, I'm not here for that. Meaning that he's making sure nobody has guns inside, and still you're like, I'm in the right spot.
Yep.
Love it.
Yeah, Rockford. Larry Smith, your buddy Crunk Kringle, just needed a beer, and I was like, this is my only place.
I have a knife. Oh, I know. What?
What?
You're cool with it.
You're cool with it? Great, cool, all right. And I was like, I said, man, I just drove through that snowstorm, a little bit of it. I want to shake off the cold. And he was cool, and he and I were chatting. I was like, I just want to shake off the cold and have a beer. And he's like, well, you get a beer and and I'm so fucking dense. He says, and the girls will help you shake off the cold. And I was like, I'm thinking he means whoever's hanging out in here, right? And I was like, pew pew, you got it, Chief. I sit down at the bar. I am not. So I want to explain. It's a big horseshoe bar. There's one side. I see dudes and there's lights, but I'm not really paying attention because all I want is a fucking beer and a shot. And I sit down and the bartender comes up and she's like, "What you need, hon?" I was like, "You got High Life?" She goes, "Nope." I said, "How about Coors Light and Jameson?" She's like, "I got those." And I've just got my hand and I just looking at her. I'm like, because I'm covering my face. And I'm just like, "Cool. I'll take a shot of JMO, Coors Light." She brings it over. I pay. I throw the cash at her. I take a big slug. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just, how when you just decompress and nothing else exists around you? That's what I'm doing. I'm just holding this beer like I'm praying. It's the Eucharist, I'm just holding it two-handed. And I'm just, every time I take a drink, I'm just experiencing the beer. And I haven't taken the shot yet because I want to get some beer in me, because you got to get a base before you take the shot.
Legally in that county, if the Hilton could have just given you a handful of beers, you could have saved yourself all this, but they don't want to do that because of morality.
Right. And what
forces you to do weird shit like this.
Yeah.
Like go to a boarded up bordello.
So I pick up the shot. I'm like, well, because the bartender comes over, she goes, "Hey, everything okay, sweetie?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I just really need a drink." And she's like, "Well, I just wanted to make sure." I was like, "Yeah." I said, "Do me a favor. I'm about to do this shot and this beer's just about drained. Can you bring me another round?" Well, what? She goes, "One of each?" I said, "One of each." She's like, "You got it." And I take a big deep breath and I tilt that shot back and I hear the distinct sound of high heels. And I just think some chicks walking by me. And then when you take that beautiful, delicious shot and it just makes everything warm. And you're like, "Yep, everything's going to be okay." And I set the shot glass down and I open my eyes and there's an asshole, literally an asshole right in front of me with this, some broad has squatted down and is like, "Hey baby, what's up?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" And I start looking around and the bartender, I swear to God, just slides the beer and the shot between this broad's legs and goes, "Here you go." And I'm like, okay, I don't think this is sanitary. And I realized that I have accidentally wandered into a strip club. And I was like, oh, this is where I am.
Did you have the motive? This is where I am. That's why it makes no sense, or that's why all this light makes sense. The velour is sticky. I get that. Oh, the smell. Understood.
Yep.
Cherry Pie has been on the jukebox for the last 3 songs. Okay.
Def Leppard's "Pour Some Sugar on Me" has been playing on a loop since I walked in.
Which in Littletown, Illinois, is still true. They have not given up on that.
And I've always
said a lot of Kid Rock.
I've always said that Def Leppard has put more girls through college than the government has ever hoped to.
Mm-hmm. And also through, I lost
cosmetology school.
I was going to be Planned Parenthood. That's what I wanted to say.
There it is.
I lost it. God damn it.
But yeah, so I here I am, real. Yeah, and it was kind of like, that scene in Chasing Amy where Jason Lee.
No.
You've never seen Chasing Amy?
Once. When it first came out.
Okay, well, our listeners may, and that's who I care about. But
there's a question. I gave you an honest answer.
I know, and I appreciate it. There's the scene where Jason Lee realizes that Amy is gay when he looks around. He's clapping, and he stops, and he looks around the room and sees like dudes making out and chicks making out. And he's like putting the math together. Then he's like, "Oh, all right." That's kind of my moment, except that I hate strip clubs because I've never had fun in a strip club.
Bullshit.
And so
you and I had fun that one time.
We did have. Was that fun?
It was worth the story.
It was worth the story.
It was not fun in the way we thought it was going to be when we were children, but it was so fun.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I always have good stories when I leave, but it's not like I walk in and be like, titties and puss. I just
Oh no, we hated the experience.
yeah. But so and I am so awkward with strippers because this girl was trying to like be flirty, but I will say, because she laid down on her back and was like doing some moves, and I'm just sitting there holding my drinks, and I'm just chatting with her, and she said something about, I don't even remember how she transitioned into, she said something and then clicked her heels and spread her legs and like put them up behind her head. And I just looked at her. I was like, that was an incredible transition. I said, you took what I said and you turned that into that. That was an incredible, that was awesome. And she's like,
that's the problem. You have to tip.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're there for. You have to, you put yourself in the situation where.
Yeah. But it wasn't because, and she looked at me and she was like, I gotta be honest, it's the first time anyone's ever complimented me on my transition, and not for the fact that I've got my chotch in the air. And I was like, well,
chotch.
I was like, well, I'm a gentleman. I'm pretty sure I just responded with, I'm a gentleman. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, fuck it, I'm here, in for a penny, in for a hangover tomorrow. Fuck this. Let's see.
In for a pound of labia. It's sold by the pound in some states.
So I tell you all that to set up for this. I think I'm the new magistrate of Iceland. I'm not sure, but I'm sitting and I see this super drunk dude just to the right of me, and he makes the noise. And I looked at the bartender. I was like, you need to keep an eye on him. He's going to yak. And she's like, yeah, we're trying to get him out of here, but he hasn't done anything. He's just drunk, so we're just serving him water.
We have to wait until he actually deserves it, which sucks because you know what's about to happen.
Yeah. And she's like, yeah, we keep talking to his brother, but his brother is just wandering around. Then the drunk decides that I'm his new best friend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember his name. I don't remember his brother's name. What I remember is that they're from Iceland because they kept telling me. So I'm talking to drunk dude, and he's like, I buy you. I don't know how to do an Icelandic accent, but I buy you.
Nobody does. There's only 8,000 people from Iceland in the world. How are 2 of them in a titty bar in Rockford, Illinois?
Right? I don't know, but he kept telling me, he's like, this place sucks. It's not like Thailand. Thailand, you have 2 girls blowing you while another one dance in front of you. You ever been to Thailand? And I was like, I've not. And he goes, I've got 2 apartments. You use one anytime you're there. And I was like, what the fuck? And he's like, I like you. You are our brother. And all of a sudden his brother sits down next to me on the other side, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And his brother does this weird little, like, his fingers running up my arm to my shoulder and like do. And I turned and I was like, the fuck is up with that, bro? And he's like, hello, hi, this is awesome. Aren't we having fun? We're from Iceland. We're our brothers. And I was like, yep. He goes, and now you're family too. And I was like, oh. And I look over, and the waitress and the bartender are now just staring at me. And they're
run, sweetie, run.
And I just looked and went, what the fuck? And they both just shrugged and went, eh. And the drunk dude kept being like, more vodka. And I was like, they'll get him a vodka water on me. And so they would just pour him a pint glass of water, and he'd take a drink. He's like, is this? I was like, no, they're using Tito's. It's real mild. It's real mild vodka. So you're getting hydrated while also getting drunk. He's like, oh, actually, I said, can you put a squeeze of lime in there for him? It'll help him taste the. And she was like, you got it, sweetheart. And sweetie, he'd be like, oh, no, I can taste the vodka. Thank you. Oh, my brother. And I'm like, oh my God. He's like, have you ever been to Thailand? And I'm like, no, we've talked about this.
No, but you 2 should go tonight because Jesus Christ. with this. They can't deal with this in Rockford. You can't even buy booze at the Hilton here.
The more sober, I won't say he was sober, the more sober brother kept
without the poop in his pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kept picking up my jacket. And I'm like, bro, that's my coat. And he's like, no, it's my coat. I was like, no, yours is over there. It's the $400 Patagonia. Mine is the $28 Coleman that isn't a Carhartt. I got it from Sam's Club. And he's like, oh, you're right. This is cheap coat. And I was like, oh, thank you. Fuck off. All right. Now we're making fun of my. And so I would not let the drunk dude buy me any booze. Because I'm not going to take advantage of this guy. But the brother, absolutely. He wasn't him. I was just like, you're a weird creepo. Yeah, because he's like, get us another round. And I'm like, yeah, on him. He's like, yes. On me, for me, a new brother. And I'm like, yes, for the new brother. I think I'm in the will now. But yeah, apparently I think I'm some manner, because this dude, he's like, I own a house in Thailand and like 2 or 3 apartments. He's like, they're very, very affordable, very cheap. You would love it there. Love it. It's so good. And then
that's a very easy lie. Like, who's going to call him on that? Sure.
Right? I'm trust me, it's not like I was like, oh, give me your phone number. I'd love to timeshare.
Oh, yeah, no, I get you. Yeah.
But I'm just like, yeah. Oh, yeah, I bet I would. And he's like, oh, are you married? Like, yeah. He goes, I'm married too. My wife hates it when I go to Thailand. And I'm like,
did they have some bullshit story about why they were in the middle of the United States of America?
They were airplane mechanics.
And they were Rockford.
Mm-hmm.
There is not a major international airport in Rockford.
Here's what I looked at him. I was like, you're a fucking spy, right? Like, you're a fucking spy. Like, you're here to.
Iceland doesn't have spies.
Oh no, I was like, you're here, you're Russian, right? I said, you're saying Iceland, but you're Russian and you're a spy, right? Like, you're like some type of, you're like the opposite of James Bond, right? Is this what he was like? No, I'm from Iceland. And I'm like, yeah, you're a bad spy, dude. And I just kept.
Yeah, because he's in the wrong city. What the fuck is this lunatic doing in a titty bar in Rockford, Illinois? I've been there. It's pointless.
Yeah,
Rockford, I'm sorry, but you're pointless.
They when they finally leave, the bouncer grabbed me and he was like, hey, watch on the monitor with me, because they've got cameras outside. And we watch as those 2 drunk assholes weave their way through the parking lot. We're watching this closed caption TV or whatever, the security.
CC, yeah. Mm-hmm. Closed circuit. We watch them weave through the parking lot, hit the snow, and like both of them just fall down into a ditch. And the bouncer and I had never had, I don't think we've laughed that hard ever. Wherever they lie, that's where they shall be buried.
This is their legacy. But yeah, I think, yeah, I'm Icelandic. I'm adopted into an Icelandic family, or I'm the new king. I don't know. I'm expecting some type of telegram soon.
Or just 2 drunks like came up with an accent, because like you said, what does an Icelandic accent sound like? Who knows? It sounds like Bjork, and that bitch was nuts. I mean, we're still talking about her wearing a dress that looks like a swan from 30 years ago. So that's what we know about Iceland. That's all they got.
That's fair. Like I said, it wasn't like I gave them any information, because when they asked what my name was, I told them it was Adam Zimmerman.
Yeah.
That is my go-to fake name.
Good.
If I need, I'm just or Jeff Ziegler. It depends on what hits my brain first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. That is my go-to.
Which is better than Jeff Zimmerman, who, when the cops asked him what his name was, he gave him his brother's name, which is the same last name.
Yeah.
And that was a very long time ago, but still.
I would have. I really wish he had said Pinkle Hudson.
Oh God, that's great. Pinkle, yeah, it's Icelandic. And all these wacky adventures. What happens? You just end up scrubbing your balls with a pub stone, just giggling and going, "You can't undo what the devil's done." And it's a weird fucking day.
Well, of course, I'm up in Wisconsin, and everybody calls.
We haven't even gotten to Wisconsin.
Yeah, I haven't even made it to Wisconsin. I'm up in Wisconsin, and everyone's like, "Bring back New Glarus. Can you bring me back?" So I end up. I've got a bunch of New Glarus tucked into the hatchback of my fucking Prius, like some type of broke dick Smokey and the Bandit bullshit happening. And in my head, because I've got the cover pulled, because I've got all my shit back there too. Got the cover pulled, and I'm like, "Ooh, can't let anyone see. What if the cops pull me over?" And I'm like, "No one gives a fuck.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares anymore. You're not the Bandit, and you're not out running Jackie Gleason in a Prius."
No, a Prius off the line is not great.
No.
0 to 60. We promise. Like, that's what they got.
Are you going downhill? Is there a tailwind? You'll make it then.
You're gonna save a lot on gas. It's heavy as fuck. Interior though, there's a lot of room, and the dash looks like a goddamn spaceship. It's so weird.
And when you put it in reverse, it beeps like a fucking dump truck. Why?
Mm-hmm.
No one knows. No one knows why. Why do we need the beeping? Why do we need the beeping? But to warn yourself that you might be moving a maybe eventually.
I love buying a car once every 10 years because, like, even just like just a regular car, all of a sudden you're like, wow, the innovations. I like some of these, some I don't. My last car was a 2011 Mini, which I loved. I now have a 2020 Elantra, which does weird shit. Like, it has the camera that points back, but when I reverse, it automatically turns off the radio. And I don't like that. I feel like it's judging me.
That's a call that your car doesn't get to make that judgment for you. Fuck you.
I'd love some manner of side going mirror so a woman could hit me on the fucking street while I was riding my bike. But outside of that,
yeah. Besides that, but shows were great in Wisconsin. A lot of fun.
Nice.
Good shows. Thanks to all those places. Great fun. But man, just when that's how my trip started, I was like, what the fuck am I getting into? Is this the universe just getting it out of the way and being like, here's all the weird shit, it's all done, you're just gonna get it done? Although I still tied one on that Friday night. I had great food, and then went to 2 dive bars. One's enough, but went to 2.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, especially when I come stumbling into the hotel lobby, go to the little snack shack that they have, and I go, what do I need?
Can I see the wine list?
And I kept looking at microwave stuff, and something in my head kept going, you're not capable of doing that right now. And I look over and I'm like, Cheetos? All right, well, I'm going to need something for tomorrow. What am I going to get? Oh.
Is this the picture you sent me?
Yes. An almond Snickers. Almonds are better for you than peanuts. And what else? A Diet Mountain Dew, please.
You fucking redneck.
I don't remember. Because I woke up.
I'm in more of a grab and go kind of situation.
Well, I know I had to debate. I know I had to be like Mountain Dew or Diet Mountain. Well, you've had a big meal tonight. You should probably do good for yourself. You don't need all the sugar. Let's go for a Diet Mountain Dew and an almond Snickers. Because for health.
15, the guy behind the counter with the rotisserie amount of Wheaties is going, this guy's going to die. He's going to fucking buy something. He could die by my hand. I don't know.
He was not amused by. I walk up and I was like, good evening, sir. How are you this evening? The tip of the hat to the magistrate. I would like these. Put it on room 107. And he was like, what room? 107. 107. Oh, playing all the hits. All right.
You know, in his head, he's like, don't make me speak to you and don't make me get a wet mop. Outside of that, we can be cool.
Just a broom where
Friends, no.
just
Cool, fine.
just scats me up to my room like a raccoon, getting him off the go, gaga. Get out of here.
Yeah, an old-timey broom too. It's got that pop to it.
Yeah. Because I ate the Cheetos, don't remember eating the Cheetos. Drunk me put the Diet Mountain Dew and almond Snickers in the fridge.
Good. And you remembered they existed. That's impressive.
Well, here's because I got up as late as possible because I I'm still feeling like shit. I take the shower, I do and I come out.
Check out at 11. I'll talk to you on Wednesday. Fuck you.
Thank God.
Bring the SWAT team. I ain't coming out.
Thank God it was noon. Checkout was noon, and I literally walked out of my room at 11:59 a.m. I was like, this is I got to be in here as long as I can, and so I walk out of the shower, and I'm like, I don't remember the walk home. I don't remember, but I start looking around, and I'm like, there's a Cheeto on the floor. What the fuck? And I look and I see the empty bag, and I was like, I guess I did buy. Did I buy shit? What the hell did I buy?
It's the Gretel trail to your own shame.
And then I open. I'm like, I guess I must have just gotten some Cheetos, and I'm getting dressed and cursing the earth and my own stupidity, and I'm like, God damn it, good time, Charlie. Why'd you do this to me again? And then I was like, oh, I better check the fridge. Because I had put my
wallet's still missing.
My wallet's still missing, and no one could tell me why this wombat's in here. Did I go to the zoo? I must have. I should probably return this before the authorities are alerted.
I remember jerking off into a sandwich baggie, but what did I do with it? Check the fridge.
Keeping it fresh. Pardon me.
Sense at the time.
You making that phone call to the hotel at about 3 p.m. I am so sorry. Could you look in your lost and found? I believe I left a sandwich bag of leave-ins in my refrigerator.
Here's the thing. I'm a very important man. We can't allow people to just cut a hole in the corner of that bag and squeeze it up into them like some manner of turkey baster. I can't be in charge of that.
I cannot be responsible. The reason I put it in there is so that it doesn't accidentally make more humans from my genetics. There's already enough of those.
Every time I masturbate at this point, typically I put it into a container and I microwave it so I can destroy virility. What I had done was my cup's a little bit too long, and gave myself the anti-out. So you need to help me.
So I was like, oh, I almost forgot.
Sir, this is Chipotle.
Sir, this is a Panera. Yes, I know. And yeah, thank you. Speaking of which,
you to make me a croissant. Is that
a croissant? And can you put this in your microwave? What is that? That's is that a heavy cream? Yes, sure.
But this is a black card. Clink, clink. Yeah, it's a black Amazon Visa. Yes, but it's metal.
And it's black. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was like, oh, I almost forgot my Nalgene, because I've got that big reusable water bottle that I carry with me. I was like, oh, because drunk me had filled it up, put it in the fridge for sober me. What a nice guy. And I open it up to get my water bottle out, and I see the Diet Mountain Dew, and it was like at the end of The Usual Suspects, everything came together. I was like, God damn it, Kaiser Sose, why did you leave this in here? And I pulled it out, and I'm looking at it.
Kevin Spacey doesn't have a limp, but he does have his finger in that AIDS ass, so we can probably personal aid.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I was with you.
Mm.
But we're gonna get an email.
Either
Speaking of
way,
which,
make sure you
Zig
don't
and
have an
Larry
open
ignore a
wound.
topic at gmail.com.
Sure, why not?
Also, use promo code Zig and Larry with Spliff Society.
Hopefully, we said that in the spot.
Think we did. I'll have to double check. Or I'll just do a poor edit. Please use promo code Zig and Larry. But yeah,
I bet we didn't. Oh fuck, I bet we did.
I'll add something.
Yeah.
Like I said, it'll be like the 1980s bad commercial. But yeah, I was just so confused. I'm still confused. Like the Diet Mountain Dew is just sitting on our counter right now, like a monument to my stupidity.
You never opened it.
No.
Huh.
It's just sitting there.
It seems like it might have had the antidote.
It may. No. See, flat Mountain Dew, flat regular Mountain Dew, cold because it's got the sugars.
I told you this years ago, and yes, correct.
Yeah, it's always been my go-to, and that's why when I was like, oh, drunk me tried, but he's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But he did his best. He was like, no, you don't need the sugars. The almond Snickers is in the freezer right now. Because that's going to be a tasty treat someday.
It made the trip.
It did. It made the trip, even though I just kept looking at it. I'm like, why? I just wandered around a Panera and just kept showing people the picture going, explain this to me. And they're like, what is happening right now? I know we have things to worry about in this world, but this is what I'm worried about.
He's being very aggressive, keeping away from my adopted Colombian children. It's very weird.
He just keeps picking off the bread bowl as he walks by. Delicious. The chicken noodle is my favorite.
Is there a straw in his beard? There's a lot of shit in his beard. Yeah.
There's so much. He needs a wash.
Mm-hmm.
Scrub him down. I have to work tonight. People pay me to spin yarns. Sure they do, Hobo Joe. Sure they do.
My legal middle name is Spork. Great.
Super. All right.
True or not, don't care. It does not affect my Super Bowl experience.
But I identify as a hobosexual. I need you to not be here anymore. Sir, this is a lady Footlocker, and we're going to need to call security.
For the last time. This is the last lady Footlocker.
Do you have anything in a size 11 double E? Oh, no, but I really like these pink ones. I'm sure you do. I guess it doesn't matter what size. I'm just using them for my own personal use, if you know what I mean.
The phrase, I really like the pink ones with you and I who have red undertones in our cheeks anyway. That's a really terrible combination.
Yeah. Well, that was a catch-up episode. Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
I still have more. I have more things to tell you, but we'll
have to forget about them for never later.
Yeah. That's fine. It's fine because they probably don't compare. Hey, what we learned today?
Fuck, give me a second. What did we learn as a team?
As a team,
that we've given up on trying to just rope each other in and just let each other go. Every once in a while, just you have to interject when we're on a fucking mission to tell a story. But mostly it's like, at this point, I don't know. Just it's like a dog fucking your leg, but he's got like a snaggle tooth. You let him finish.
Just let him finish and then tell him he's a good boy.
Exactly. And for me, it's easy because I haven't worn long pants in a very long time. So I just use one of those like Lysol wipes.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Mr. Clean Magic Eraser.
That's all you're getting out of me. What do you think we learned?
I think that we learned that we probably need a referee. The kid just knock us back into play every once in a while.
Would have been helpful.
Yeah. I also we learned that
can we call this episode Is Any of This Usable? Please make another note that you're not going to read. SpliffSociety.org presents Is Any of This Usable?
What I love is this microphone is so sensitive that it was picking me up scribbling.
This stupid little thing is better than any mic that I've ever owned.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Oh, my computer's just decided to run us a hardware analysis right here at the end of the episode. So that's fun. So I guess maybe I should just say, hey, buddy, guess what?
What's that?
I'm the new King of Iceland.
The best part's about hanging out with these guys.
God damn it, son of a bitch, motherfucker.